Hey everyone, welcome to episode number 2 in our Satisfactory long play series. Hopefully you all are enjoying it. We make a ton of progress in this episode, and also just as a little PSA, I did notice there's a little bit of quality dropping that I figured out in this episode, so it still won't be the best this one, but hopefully in the next one it's cleared up a little bit, so it's a little bit easier for everyone to watch and follow along. But that should be it. Hopefully you enjoy the rest of the episode. I kind of like the gray look a little bit more. I'll go with that for now. Eventually, I want to figure out where to get our coffee cup, but I'm sure we'll find it sometime. So, we need to get a few other things working. Mainly these miners. We need to get the miners going. And we need to set up these conveyor belts. So the miners do require a bit of sheets and concrete. Ooh, one of our fuses has blown. That's not good news. Let's change this to concrete. Throw our rocks in there. Alright. We run out of energy. What's going on here? Yeah, we sure did. Could throw some wood in here, flip the switch, and get everything going again. Alright, everything's back up and running. Then we can throw leaves in here. Use this kind of as a backup generator, I guess. I wish we could use this as a backup generator. I don't really know how that would work, but either way, we're done, ready with that. Can't wait to figure out what those flying creatures are. So this should go for a little while. 12 wood per minute, and we have a good amount, so that's like 5 minutes worth of burning. Definitely not enough. We're gonna need quite a few in order to get these miners going. Let's add a couple. We want 2 miners, 1 for copper, 1 for iron. We have plenty of plates. We're gonna need 2 portable miners, which we can pick those up over there. And the concrete is currently being made. We're actually getting pretty close already. Just need 1 more. Perfect. Plenty of concrete, miners. Alright. So the thing about these guys is they're not going to be doing anything unless we are able to hook them up with a bit of power. So in order to do that, we got to make sure that we have some power built up already. Or at least some way to get them power. So in order to do that, we're going to need some power lines and some power poles. We have plenty of stuff for power poles, but we're going to definitely need to make more power lines. I'm going to craft some wire real quick. We'll zip through this and build some more cables. I'm hoping around 20 is going to be enough. And then we can get on our way and hopefully be able to build a few of these power lines. We really just need to set up these first few, and I'll worry about the rest after that. So we got 20. There's our wires done. Are we out of... Nope. Okay, so we still have wood. Just everything here is done, I guess. Yeah, it's so fast. We'll get that going. And we got this done. We'll throw some more in there. Get some more concrete rocking. So let's pick this up actually. Pick this up and pick up the miner. Then we can actually set down our first ever miner Mark 1. This thing is huge. Okay. Here we go. Perfect. So we do need to hook it up to power. Luckily we have Yeah, that's what I figured. Our power pole is done. We're gonna need to build a new one. Build a new power pole right here. Want to give a little room in between. Here we go. And then from there to here. Oh, it connects up there. Great. And I can already start mining because we have some biomass in the other one. Let's go collect a little bit more biomass because this isn't going to last us very long. It is going to be nice though. I'm guessing the production is going to be a bit higher, hopefully. I wonder if whenever we upgrade our base and we're able to make biomass, I'm really hoping that biomass is going to be quite a bit more efficient than going around and doing this. Oh, here's the hog remains from the very first hog we took down. That'll be nice for later. Don't really know what it's used for, but I'm sure it has a use. Let's see how fast this goes. Wow. Okay, so 30 per minute. I actually think that is pretty similar to how our setup is already with the other miners, but hopefully it can store more than 100. And even if not, it can have a conveyor belt going out through here and into right here. I do wonder what we need for conveyor belts. Just sheets. We can actually already get this going. Ah, man, that sounds like a good idea. But first things first, let's go over here real quick and set up our copper station. So let's build another one of these. Wonder how far you can go until it makes you build another power line. This is definitely a lot further than I anticipated. Wonder if it changes. Look how far we are. This is so far away. Way, way further than I anticipated us being able to go. So let's get this stuff, pick up the miner, and we should be able to build another miner, no issue. And we'll connect this one here to right there. And it's already up and going. Perfect. Wow, that was really easy. I think we can already get the conveyor belts going then. Ah, look at this. We'll do one right there. And we'll do another one all the way over here. Oh, look how many metal plates we're using right now. Hey, but it's going. Definitely gonna need more of these. We're missing 17 plates. Okay. Let's go take care of this problem right quick. We're gonna need a lot of plates. Let's switch this over to plates. Throw in a bunch of metal and let the construction begin. And these guys are going to need a renewed source of iron. There we go. And this one needs a bunch of copper. Perfect. This one here, is it done? It is. 100 is the max, even on these big units. What are we looking at for biomass? Got more leaves and a little bit more wood. That should keep us going for a little while. And let's get these plates made. I'm going to make a few of them just so we have enough. Me combined with the constructor should hopefully give us a good amount for at least a little bit. Alright, so as we are still making some plates, I thought it'd be a good time as any to figure out what we need for our storage unit, which is just more plates and rods. Perfect. Let's collect what we have here and get on our way. So we're going to need to make a storage unit, and I figured right here might be best. We're able to set it up so that we can feed everything directly into it, and it kind of flows in more of a natural way. I think we can store the raw units here and then feed the raw units into the constructors over there. At least that's the hope. We can always move it, but we'll build it there for now. And that way we have somewhere for all of this copper to flow. Let's get our conveyor belts rolling again. As you can see, production is kind of stopped because it's waiting for a place to go. And hopefully straight in. Perfect. Everything's flowing smoothly. That's so awesome. Getting all of the automation set up. And what's nice is we can do the same thing right here. Can we connect it? Doesn't look like it. I don't know. I would think that you can connect all of it together, but it doesn't look like it. Wonder if it needs its own storage container. That'd be a little unfortunate, but let's see if we can move this. Can I move this? Dismantle. Don't really want to completely dismantle it. If we hold left click, it dismantles it, but I just want to move it a little bit. Because it goes all the way over there, but I guess it won't destroy everything. Well, actually, we might not. Nah, we definitely need to dismantle it. Alright. Let's build the other one right here is where we wanted to do it. So that way we can connect it to the old power line, the miner, and over there. The reason I did that is so that we can build an extra storage unit right next to this storage unit. I wish there was a bit of clipping here, or a bit of snapping rather. Here, we'll use height to our advantage. You can get pretty tall up here. Is there another ladder? Nope, this is as high as it gets. Alright. So we can set this other one right next to it. And that'll be our conveyor belt going from here to there. Perfect. Got our stuff working. Let's see how much it can fit in here. Probably a good amount, hopefully. If it fits 100 in each of these, that would be great. Look at all of those minerals. That is awesome. Things are flowing perfectly. We're going to need to figure out a way to make it a little bit more sustainable. Because as you can tell right now, it's not definitely going to have some issues with power. I am going to be moving those constructors over here so we have a little bit of a better workflow. As it is now, this doesn't really feed into the constructors being over there. So let's go ahead, take a second, and we're going to deconstruct a few things. Alrighty, so we are back. We're able to make everything in a much nicer line than they were previously. And I'm actually going to move this over a little bit. So we're able to make everything in a little bit nicer of an order, at least an order that makes a little bit more sense. So we want to build things that look at least a little bit nice, and now that we got everything more set up in a linear fashion, we can go ahead and try and connect all of them. So we have conveyors from there to there, there to, let's get over here. Oops, there we go. And lastly, here to here. So this way, we can set these up and have them going into a final storage organizer. Jump up here and we're able to move this around, so it makes a little bit more sense. I like how they have these arrows showing me if something is or isn't lined up. Just makes everything so much easier going from one to the next. Wow. We're really moving up in the world. This looks great. So we're able to set these things up. Now let's get everything powered on. We can set up a power pole. Okay, so we are slowly setting things up. We're able to plug everything in to the power unit. We got one making copper, one making iron, and now we can make automatic iron plates and automatic wire. Don't know if we'll need those set up permanently. I'm sure we'll change those things up as we go along, but for now, that is what we're doing. Our milestone does require a lot of sheets, a lot of wire, even some concrete and rods. So we're gonna go and get some more biomass. I'm gonna harvest around a little bit and come back. Hopefully things are gonna be working just fine when I get back. I'm gonna need quite a bit of leaves and hopefully some wood from a bit of foraging. Okay, so as soon as I leave base for a minute, everything goes haywire. Seems like we've run out of power already. To be fair, we only had enough wood and leaves to last us a few minutes. So we've been gone for a few minutes, but there's no real point in going back until we get enough leaves and biomass so that we can really fix the issue we know we have at base. I'm going to do my best to gather up a few more of these, and we're not too far from base, so it shouldn't be that big of a task getting back. Okay, we'll gather a few more and head back to base. We're really going to need to make sure we stay on our biomass game. Ah, look at all those leaves. Let's turn this back on. Perfect. And throw some more wood in here. Great. Everything's running smoothly. Let's see. Is anything coming out of here? Oh, this takes a little bit longer once it's restarted. Okay. We got sheets. Look at that. Got wire. I wish we had one of these for concrete, but that is pretty far away. Can't imagine we're going to have that up and running anytime super soon. I'm going to go adventure and get a bit more biomass. Hopefully the next thing we unlock being biomass is, like we mentioned earlier, quite a bit more efficient because I can't really foresee myself doing this leaf collection for much longer. I'm sure the devs already thought of this. I'm going to try my best to upgrade our place as soon as possible just because, yeah, there has to be a better way. So we're going to go collect some more concrete and some more biomass. And I'll be right back over here so we can get started on actually leveling up our base to level 6. I feel like that's a big milestone for us. Also, I just realized you can pick up wood off the ground regularly. I thought all of it had to just randomly come from picking up leaves. Guess the more you know. Alright, so we're back. I did a bit of mowing, kind of like a madman, and I was able to get a few hundred extra leaves and a good amount of branches. So we'll be able to go for a little bit longer. And I also finished up some concrete. Along with the concrete, I hit up the amount of rods we needed, and we have the number of plates. Let's check on our wire real quick, and we have more than enough to finally upgrade our hub. Here we go, level 6. Upgrade. Level 6. New buildings, new parts, and player upgrade. We're now a certified pioneer.
Congratulations, you have completed onboarding and achieved the absolute minimum skill level required of a Ficsit pioneer. Ficsit looks forward to your future achievements, because a future with Ficsit is a future with you. Tier 1 and 2 milestones are now available in the hub, and biomass burners can now be built individually. Your first official objective is to initiate project assembly by building the space elevator. This objective will take a significant amount of resources, so Ficsit recommends getting to work.
Alright, so we are done with tier 0. We officially finished the tutorial. I'm feeling great about our setup so far. The most important thing we got are the biomass and space elevator unlocks. Space elevator is going to definitely be our next big upgrade, but we unlocked tier 1 and tier 2 technically. We unlocked base building is going to be our next milestone potentially. This is going to give us access to lookout towers, walls, foundation. All this is going to be really nice because we are on rocky ground right now, making it a little difficult to set everything up in a nice way. On top of that, we have these things, which would actually been nice for us earlier. These conveyor belt mergers and splitters. Definitely would have been great for us because we had to set up 2 different storage containers because we didn't have these. And then lastly, we have the field research. This is just things like personal storage, scanners, and maps, which is definitely going to be useful. And tier 2 definitely seems quite a bit more advanced from what I could gather. I don't even know what I would do with things like smart plating, rotors, or assemblers. I'm sure I could imagine, but not really. Chainsaw will be nice, solid biofuel, that'll solve a lot of problems, so maybe we'll start with tier 2 right away. We have jump pads and jelly landing pads, so hopefully that'll make traveling a bit easier. And then we have other things like the awesome shop and sink and logistics mark II. These all look like they're going to be a bit faster and overall just speed up production. So I'm not sure what to go with. It does seem like the sensible thing is to go from tier 0 to 1 and then 2. That being said, solid biofuel sounds like a great upgrade. This might be the way to go, but first things first, let's check out how we get started with the biofuel that we have now. So in order to get the biofuel going, we actually need to make it here. So biomass leaves, you can actually turn the leaves into biomass. This is potentially great. So 180 megajoules in 1 unit, as opposed to leaves, which is just is that 15? So this gives us a little bit more. Actually, let's see. I think it gives us a lot more. So typically 10 leaves would have 150 megajoules, and it turns it into 180 megajoules times 5. So let's see. Let's just see. Yep, that's right. This is a lot. So this is 180 megajoules times 5, which is about 900 megajoules as compared to the 150. This is great. I'm going to sit here and go through quite a few of these leaves, probably all of them. I can't imagine we'll need them for much else other than biomass. So I can store up as much as we can and have our production going without a problem. This is going to make expanding way, way easier, not having to worry about going and getting leaves over and over again. We can leave the base safely and be rest assured that our production will continue on. Let's swap it out. 6 per minute. Wow, look how much longer it takes to burn. This is great. Awesome. Oh, it even shows here. It is by far the most efficient. Only 6 per minute. Let's get the other thing, which is wood. Swap it out here, and we can even make more biomass from the wood and leaves we just picked up. Wow, look at 340. This is so much more efficient. We're definitely going to be looking into getting that chainsaw pretty soon here, because being able to use wood to do this is going to be really nice, and unlocking that additional solid fuel, that is going to be really cool. I'm actually really excited about this. I never thought I'd be excited about bricks of solid fuel, but you know, this game does weird things to you, I guess. I'm going to set this as our milestone, actually. So we're going to need 100 of these wires. So that means that we can set up our constructor to the cables. Ooh, actually, we need to set up a new thing if we want to do that. So we're going to need to set up a conveyor that goes into another constructor in order to turn these cables into wires. It's kind of weird, but I'm pretty sure that's what we're supposed to do. So let's build another constructor here. We do need some reinforced plates, and funny enough, we need some of that wire. Let's come back with our stuff that we need. We're going to make 2 of these, actually. We'll just do 1 for now. I know we'll need the other one soon, but I don't want to get too far out of myself. So I'll make 2 of these plates. And we'll also make 8 of these cables. Made a few too many, but that's okay. Let's build 1 constructor and hook it up with a conveyor belt. And in this constructor, we're going to set it to cable. It needs to be fed wires, which... we also need to set it and connect it to power. That would be helpful. Ooh, actually, we need to upgrade our power lines. We don't have anything else to really be able to connect these two. That one's set to 4, and that one's set to 4. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like we have any power to connect this up to. I guess this means that we're going to have to build another biomass burner. Well, luckily we have access to that now. And we have everything we need for it, so we'll just set it up here for now. We'll set it up here just in case we have a way to put biomass directly into it. It won't be too much of a hassle to get it reset up. Let's put some actual biomass into it. And this one can actually make 30 megawatts, so that's really good. And then we can connect it once we get a couple more cables. Making a lot of progress right now. Alright. We can connect this now. Perfect. So it should be up and running. Alright, so it's gonna be running not for the whole time though, because it does have a maximum of 100. And here we have steel sheets. We have 200, which is more than we need. We can actually start making screws, but we need to make rods first. So we'll change this to rods. And then we actually can set this one up as well. Oop. So we can get a few more reinforced sheets. Just 2. I knew when we said earlier that I would need more of these reinforced plates. I just didn't imagine it would be so soon. Make a few more cables just so we have enough case. And run back over here and set up another one of these. So let's get our constructor out. And set it up so that it's lined up with our building right here. Definitely going to need that foundation set up soon. And conveyor belts. So this unit sets up for power. And we're going to need it to start making screws. There we go. Wow, look at this. We've become so industrious so quickly. I wish we could do a little bit of parkour. I love jumping around in this game. So we have our iron and our copper getting smelted, turned into rods, and turned into screws. And then we have our copper getting turned into wire, which is getting turned into more wires. What are these things called? So we have, what are these guys? Here. Yeah, we have wires, and it's getting turned into cables, that's what it's called. We'll pick these up, pick up these screws, because we don't have them connected to storage units at the moment, so they're only going to make up to 100. We're going to need 500 screws, so we'll be here for a little while. Biomass burner's going strong, plenty. Hopefully that'll be enough for us to get 500 screws made. We're going to need quite a few screws. I think I'm going to help it out and start making some screws as well. But don't worry, we're going to fast forward to this part. So it should be done in just a second. We have a special guest. Mr. Moose the Cat has visited us whilst we're making screws and hit that perfect 500. So along with that, we need the wire. Let's go grab it since we're over here. Ooh, it's starting to give... I wonder why it started giving these sheets. Let me grab these sheets off of the belt. So it's only sending rods. Yeah, so we have iron rods going in and screws coming out. That's how it should be. Wonder why it's not working. Did we run out of power? We need rods going in. Is there... Oh, there's a sheet right there. We get rid of that. Wonder if we get this conveyor belt and delete it. So, yep, okay. So we ran into a little production issue there. There we go. Now we're back on production. Let's pull these out, and that should be more than enough cables. Let's actually shut this down. I don't really want more cables being made. We can always turn it back on. Same thing with these screws. I don't mind the rods being made, but we don't really need a ton of extra screws just randomly being made. This way. Here we go. Oh, we need a bunch of concrete. Yikes. I don't know how I overlooked that, but we are going to need some concrete. Hopefully our miner over here has been busy. We should definitely set up another one over here. Portable miner. Definitely need to set up another one. I actually think we might. Let me do a quick scan and see if that right there is limestone as well. No, it's not. What is this? Closest one is 200 meters away. Is this iron? This is iron. Oh, okay. There's 3 iron ores right there. Well, I guess this is as good a time as any to figure out if we can put multiple miners on a single unit. I'm gonna go pick up this miner, because it seems like we're gonna be needing a lot of concrete. So let's go ahead and open our inventory, put this in our hands, and see if we can put them side by side. Ooh, that was our first bit of damage we've ever taken. Does it work? It looks like it. Oh, perfect. Okay. So it does seem like they can work side by side. That's great news. So we can whenever we come over here to get our concrete, we'll have twice as much to collect. That's nice considering we don't really need any iron these days. At least, not more than one can manage at the moment. So let's go ahead and build the rest of this concrete. It's going to take a little bit, but we're going to be pretty close to how much we need. Do we have any in the bank? No, nothing in the bank, so we'll get this doing and we will go grab some more so that we have enough for the whole run. Okay, so I'm working my way back to the base from the concrete spawn and we have a special guest here. Look at this big guy. He reminds me so much of my little cats. This is a silly little face. Wish we could zoom in on him. We can see him eye to eye though. Look at his little face. He looks so silly. Well, he's visiting us. Hopefully he's having a good time. Alrighty, so we're done. Got all of the concrete we need and we can finally do the upgrade we had been hoping to do for the first time. So we're gonna... Oh, actually, can we even do this yet? We might need to get the other thing first. The space elevator. This requires so many items. Oh my gosh. Let's get... wow, that's so many items. Okay. We're gonna need a bunch of stuff. Let's get back to making rods. So we got rods stocking up, perfect. We need wire. We got wire stocking up, perfect. We're gonna need concrete. I need to make a conveyor belt. We need, suddenly we need a lot of things. Let's see if we can still make this milestone happen. Oh, perfect, we can.
Milestone reached. Solid biofuel, created from any biomass, ensures maximum efficiency of biomass burners. To aid in biofuel production, the chainsaw. Additionally, your pocket dimension has been inflated to increase inventory size. Inspirational note: will you be the Ficsit Employee of the Month? You could be if you construct, automate, explore and exploit by eliminating all obstacles to efficiency. This isn't just fun, it's contractually mandated, fun.
Okay, so this is perfect. We were able to actually set up our obstacle clearing. Not only did that increase our inventory, it gives us access to chainsaw and solid biofuel. And it seems like the astropod that just got shipped off will be back in just 2 minutes. So we don't have to wait for too long. That being said, I do need to get a bunch of materials for this conveyor belt system. We have 200 plates, which should get us quite a way, all the way to the miner. We are going to have to build a miner down here and connect it through a crazy series of power. Let's see if hopefully we can do it. Let's see if we have the materials for the miner. So we need a mobile miner, a bit of concrete, and some steel sheets. Let's get this concrete done and we can start on a bit of a conveyor system. I didn't realize concrete would be so pivotal for so many of our builds, or I would have probably started on a conveyor system for it quite a bit ago. It does seem it is becoming more and more central for a lot of our builds, so I might as well get a proper conveyor system set up right away. So 40 should do us for a little while. Let's set up our wire situation. We have plenty now. We can get our wire set up so that we can send our power over here, as it is a little bit of ways from our base. There they are. Let's actually go down here and set up our miner. First, we're going to pick these up. We're actually going to pick up both of the miners. And with that done, freighter reentry, nice. So that means that our freighter's coming back and it's going to have plenty of goodies. Let's put our miner right there. Connect the power. Perfect. And let's get our conveyor belt going. We're going to need our conveyor belt to actually go pretty high here. So because of that, I want to explore the use of this conveyor pole. I don't really know how to use it, but I feel like that's something we can figure out together. Oh, the conveyor pole is actually something that we don't need to build, it's just already part of the system. That's good to know. This is a fairly gravity-defying conveyor belt, but it's okay. It seems like it's doing a good job. We're going to conveyor all of the product over here into a storage container. Mostly because I don't think we have the power set up currently in order to start making... Actually, we should do it right from the start. So we should have a constructor, honestly. We could do a constructor and just immediately start making concrete. That would really help out a lot. Let's just do it right from the start. I know I would regret it if we didn't, so. Eventually I would have to go through the effort of making it the way I knew I should have to begin with. So we're gonna do a constructor here. Conveyor belt right into the constructor. And we'll set this up to make concrete. We're gonna have to set this up with power. Luckily, it does seem like we can add this to a new power line right here, and it should work. Such a weird web of power. There we go. So now that we have that, last thing is a storage unit. It should work right there. Wonder why we can't make it. Oh, we need rods. Let's make a few rods. I know we have a bunch over there, but we're right here. We can make rods pretty quickly. Alright, let's slap this in there. And get the conveyor going. Perfect. Officially, we are concrete efficient. That's actually a real weight off my shoulders. I was kind of wondering if we would need to do that. So it's nice that we already figured that out. Also, we got the obstacle clearing fully done, and we should be able to actually set that up. And by that, I mean... oh, we actually need to rebuild an equipment workshop. I forgot that we deconstructed this a little while ago. So we can set that up, and we should be able to build a chainsaw here. It does require 5 reinforced plates. Let's go ahead and add this to the to-do list. It's so funny. We should probably take the milestone off for the time being. We need reinforced plates, iron rods, and screws. A lot of those we can build ourselves. And we can get started on that because it's going to take a little while. These rods we can turn into screws. We might as well turn these back on and start making them. This can actually stay here. We're going to need actually not much more wire. Biomass still going strong. We're going to top these up and make sure everything is going well. We're going to be able to get our chainsaw pretty soon here, which is going to make everything go way better as far as biofuel goes. As far as the iron ingots go, I think we're going to have to put in some labor ourselves so that everything can continue to go smoothly. Since we're going to need so many iron rods and screws in order to actually finish up this chainsaw project. Alrighty, perfect. So we are done. I actually ended up just going through and AFKing all of the products myself, just so that we can get this chainsaw out of the way. I'm actually pretty excited about the chainsaw, so we can start cutting down trees, getting all of our own biofuel made. Look at this. This is awesome. That is great. Let's test it out. I wonder if we need any fuel to actually get it going. Let's see. R to single mode, R to area mode. Let's do area mode. Wonder how it works. Oh, we need We need biofuel to get this going. I see. Let's see, I wonder, will it take regular biofuel? It doesn't look like it. So we need to set up, we need to make some solid biofuel. Let's see. What do we need for that? Solid biofuel requires regular biofuel. Okay. Let's borrow some from this. Is there a way to take some? Oop, not the whole thing. Let's see. Oh, there we go. Alright, that was a bit of a mix-up, but okay, so if you control right-click, it cuts things in half. Perfect. So let's make a little bit of this solid biofuel so we can get our chainsaw working. Can't imagine it takes too much biofuel, but we're going to use this biofuel to make more biofuel, so it's a bit of a weird circle we're going in. It's not a big deal if we use all of our biofuel that we just got in order to use our chainsaw, since it's going to get us more. And perfect. So now we can take out our chainsaw, and it seems like we have enough now. Alright, let's see. Look at that. There we go. 6 wood and 20 leaves. Alright, this is quite a bit better than what we were doing before. Already I can see the vast improvement. And it cuts down everything in an area. That is amazing. Yeah, this is definitely worth the biofuel. 100%. Look at that. No problem. It cuts down the tree and all the leaves nearby. Really great for clearing areas and biofuel. We already have 120 wood. This is so efficient. I've never been more excited to cut down a tree in my life. This is like very reminiscent of the first time you chop down trees in Minecraft. It's so satisfying, and it feels really rewarding. Try not to get too carried away, but I know we're going to need a lot of biofuel, especially in the future. So I might as well collect quite a few while we're out here. I do wish there was a way to increase the output and production of these constructors. Speaking of output, we can actually get some of this biomass going. I could make a constructor that feeds it into there, but no, it's okay. We don't need a full setup for this. We're gonna have to go through this real quick, make all the biomass, and then we'll set it into solid biofuel. It's actually really exciting because the solid biofuel actually, is going to last so much longer than the regular biofuel. As you can see here, it is 450 megajoules per piece as opposed to 180. So nearly a 3 times increase. That's pretty exciting. And what's nice is it actually gets made pretty quickly. As you can see, my inventory's already been bulked up with it. It does take quite some time to make though, so I might end up automating this process in the near future, just so I'm not going to be stood here for so long. But this is such a great improvement. I'm glad I did this right away. I hated in the first few days. I did hate in the first day having to worry about if we had enough leaves burning so that our production could keep going. This gives me such a nice peace of mind. I'm going to go through and continue making all of these until we are done making all the solid biofuel. This is going to take quite some time, so I'll be back in a little bit. Alright, so we just finished up with all of our... Wow, look how many... I actually stepped away because it was taking so long to make all the biofuel. Did not think we have so many. We have a ton of biofuel, actually, so... that is kind of crazy. So we have enough solid biofuel where we can throw it into all of these. Look at only 2 biofuel a minute as opposed to the 12 and 6 of the other sources. This one ran out. Not anymore. Boom. Perfect. That's pretty exciting. And then this one. There we go. So now we even have extra biofuel. Is it... what's going on with this? Are we making more concrete? Are we not making more concrete? Why is there no concrete? Oh, I think it's because the other unit was shut down. Now we're making concrete. Okay. Since we're out here, I might as well start a little bit of wood cutting. I'm addicted. I actually don't want to cut too many trees now that I think about it, just because it actually takes a bit of my inventory space, so I don't want to cut too many. Just enough so that we have plenty of biofuel. Probably level the areas close to our mining and operations in general, just so it's easier to have sight lines on all of our products. Alright. Looking great. Now we have more concrete going. Let's see how much we have stocked up. 300 almost. That's great. That means we're getting pretty close to our actual goal. So we have 500 screws. Perfect. And we're not really building any wires. How many coils do we have? Almost enough coils. A lot of rods. I think we might change it to sheets. Let's see what we need for the space elevator. We do need more sheets, 400 rods. Let's see where we're at. Nearly at 400 rods. We'll go until we have a few more of the rods. And what are we looking at here? We don't need any of this stuff. Great news. Let's see what we need for our next objective. These logistics. This might be really nice. We can consolidate some of our conveyor belt systems, but it's honestly not that big of a deal. This base building is a little bit more interesting to me. We can have a little bit more uniform of a base, start building buildings even, and have everything on the same playing field. Also, this lookout tower seems pretty basic, but it'd be nice to have a good overview of our base. As far as this field research stuff, I think this will be the last thing we end up doing. It'll be nice to have, I think, but I can't imagine us prioritizing it. Same with all of this part assembly stuff. I imagine it's going to be super useful, but I'm going to have to read on why it's useful, what it can be used for, and the like. Jump pads are obvious, but we're not really moving around too much. I don't know what the awesome shop does. And lastly, of course, we have the conveyor belt 2.0. That's actually pretty intriguing. It does require 50 of these reinforced plates, which I'm sure will come in due time. Besides that though, I think we are going to prioritize building the space elevator. We're pretty close to it as we are right now. And we'll try to set things up in a little bit better of a way. A little bit more efficient. Just so that when everything is set up and done, we don't really have too much to do. I think we might end up going with the conveyor belt as a new focus. It'll help with consolidating everything once we build another mining apparatus for the iron so that we can actually combine the units into one conveyor, split them into multiple constructors, and again have them going through and being made. Then we'll need to split them again to go into further constructors. Eventually we want to build an area so that we can have one of every single part being made at all times. If we were to do that right now, it would be an assembly line of about 7 constructors side by side, making everything we need from rods to sheets to screws and so on and so forth. That's something we'll eventually get to, so I think I want to prioritize getting our base building set up, and on top of that, then we'll start getting the conveyor belt set up. But before all of that, I think we're pretty close, so let's check on the progress for the sky elevator. Space elevator, rather. So we need 500 concrete. Let's go see where we're at here. Right around 300. It's looking really nice. We'll take that out and actually build some ourselves. We have quite a few rocks on hand, so we'll just go through and push this so that we can get a little bit closer to that 500. Like I said in the last episode, you can't let the bots get down and dirty without doing a little bit yourself. Alright, let's see what our progress is with... Here we go. Nearly done with all of our concrete. So close. We can also check on the iron plate situation. So the iron rods, we have 400. There we go. We can actually put 50 back. We only need the 400 right now. Our wire situation, I think is going great. There we go. Let's put almost all this back. There we go. So we just need some iron plates. Let's swap this up to iron plates real quick. We got this going over here. I don't know why we need more screws. We can turn this off actually. We don't need this running. It would be nice to have it maximizing potential, but we don't really need it at the moment. As a matter of fact, we could probably take all this stuff off the conveyor belt, but it's okay for the time being. Alright, there we go. So we got us making a bit of iron plating. And while I had a second, I actually made even more biofuel, so we are going to be set for quite some time. We can also put the screws in here so you can check out how much extra biofuel we have. There we go. We also have these presents, which I don't know what to do with, but I'm sure we'll figure it out soon enough. As far as this crafting bench goes, honestly, we're going to need these plates, so I'm glad we made so many screws. We're really just waiting on this concrete so that we can... There we go. And we can use the rest of these iron ingots to make iron plates. So I'm going to sit here and make quite a few. We have all this extra iron ore from the good old days when we used to collect it ourselves. Let's get through all this and we'll move on to making some iron plates, and we'll be back here in just a second. Alright, so I stepped away for a minute and we were able to make a ton of iron plates. 450 when we only needed 250. That's okay though, because as always I'm sure we'll find a use for it. This thing is massive. So big. Let's go up top and try to figure out where on earth we're gonna put this. Space elevator indeed. That thing is huge. So I'll put it in the clearing over there. I'm sure we are gonna rebuild this in a much more efficient way. But as it stands, that's fine. We got the achievement, build the space elevator. Commencing space assembly. Wow. This is wild. Look how big it is. That is awesome. So I'm guessing this is going to help getting materials from and to space. Really don't know what to expect from this. All I know is this thing is humongous. Oh wow, look at the space station dropping in. Wow, look at the space station dropping in, and it comes in with hooks. This is awesome. This is actually amazing looking. I'm so glad I made this.
Project assembly initialized. Congratulations,
Congratulations,
Pioneer. The space
Pioneer.
elevator will now automatically connect with the Project Assembly orbital platform. Project Assembly is divided into phases, each of which require the delivery of project parts, such as smart plating, via the space elevator. Subsequent phases unlock access to new tiers with more advanced technologies to construct, automate, explore, and exploit. It is time to be honest. This project is part of the Save the Day program, the largest united undertaking in human history, destined to save us all. Earth is in peril and only Ficsit pioneers offer hope for survival. Ficsit is counting on you. Humanity is counting on you. Do not let Ficsit down.
That is awesome. Okay, so we have the light work of saving all of humanity. I didn't realize we were so imperative and also in peril at the same time. That is awesome. I don't fully understand the objective, but we will be supplying it with the things we need, going through all the correct processes, and hopefully saving humanity. So thanks for sticking around for episode number 2. If you stuck around this long, I appreciate it. And I do know that I could and am going to hopefully up the quality so that it's not so pixelated whenever I am running around. Thanks again for watching. Hopefully you all enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one.